Hi again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of RVBusiness Capitol Talk, sponsored by Dicor Products. I'm Rick Kessler from RVBusiness. With me, as always, Sherm Goldenberg of RVBusiness, and joining the two of us today is Mike Lanciotti. Mike, of course, is the president of the REV Recreation segment of REV Group. REV, as we all know, has a ton of brands. Out in Decatur is Fleetwood, Holiday Rambler, and American Coach. And then in Bristol is Renegade RV. In Elkhart is the Midwest Automotive Designs Class B products. And then way out in California is Lance Camper, although Lance is building that production facility in Decatur, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Mike, thanks for joining us.
Yes. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate you guys sharing some time with me. I think it's an exciting time coming up. And if there's any questions I can answer, I'd be glad to.
We appreciate it as well.
Mike, let's start out with the most recent news, and that was yesterday's announcement of REV Group's Q3 results. And the recreation segment in particular. Let's talk about that because it was really some good news. Let me get my notes here. Net sales were up 19.6%, and the backlog, and I might get this figure incorrect, but $1.2 billion in backlog.
That's correct. That's correct.
Congratulations. Really good numbers.
Yeah. Thank you. We did have a great quarter. It's strange and it's a compliment to all of our workers, but we've been through a year of the same story everywhere: chip shortages, employee retention issues, supply chain shortages. A lot of these things have driven up the rework and driven up a lot of extra labor hours and needs for people on time, which hasn't made it a great work experience for some people in the shop because they're working really hard. And now the temperatures get a little warmer, but the teams have all banded together and they work really hard at getting things done. And they seem to, they're all unified. We kind of go to the fight, the story of the one team, the one fight. I think that's a pretty good description of all the different businesses within REV, and particularly the RV businesses. And strong performances. I'm just proud of it. And I could say I know that there's even better things ahead, I think, in the next quarter. So that's my prediction for the REV RV Group.
The strength of your numbers, especially in the RV segment, are saying what in your view?
Yeah, what it says, and it's telling the truth. Our RV businesses are, if there was such a thing as, quote, a specialty RV business or specialty companies, not generic vanilla, not cookie cutter, not volume. That's not who REV RV Group is. I mean, we're very unique at Renegade. It's a unique product. It commands unique workmanship, commands a unique price. It is a very, very unique product, and that's a good thing. So the volume remains high and the business remains stable. We actually have the same thing in the B Group with Midwest Automotive. It's a very, very high quality B van. Sprinter van. It is unique. It's not volume run of the road. Now, Lance Campers is a product that's not just your standard towable. It's a pretty special towable product, and their backlog remains pretty strong. And then Fleetwood and Holiday Rambler and our businesses in Decatur, maybe a little bit more mainstream. The A market's a tough market. But they only had one dealer group that even backed off on a few orders. So everybody's keeping saying, if you guys can get product out of your Decatur plants, we're going to buy them. And it's pretty exciting. And I can tell you within the next few days, we're going to have our first Lance Camper product coming off the line in Decatur and being sold and ready to go. And then we're going to ramp up in a very short time with a nice workload. build some stability, get some cadence in the plant where we build good product and ramp the right way. We're not going to be jerky about it, and just make sure the market wants what we're going to have.
Mike, go with that a second on Decatur. Was it a new building built there, or use of an existing?
No, it was definitely a use of an existing building. There's the campus there is just phenomenal, and it's way over. There's so much square footage there that there's buildings to be repurposed, and we took one of them that did seed product in the past. It ran E450s in that building, and they've since got out of the E450 business, and probably good that they did, because you couldn't get chassis in the last 2 years anyway. So it's been open, and we repurposed it, and I think the REV Corporation and our leader down there, Jeremy Slinker, and all the help he got from the team that's at Fleetwood, they've turned this building into something pretty special.
You got the workforce for that? Obviously you do, or you wouldn't have done it, but the Decatur area is able to provide that for you?
Yeah, that's a two-headed monster there. You just asked me. There's not much unemployment in Decatur for sure, and it's a continual struggle to bring persons in. And everybody's kind of staying in their lane with regard to wages and stuff. Nobody's making it too expensive for anybody else to compete. So you have to sell your advantage. And I think the advantage was a Lance Camper coming to town, a California company, something that's different than Fleetwood and different than the businesses that were there. And it's not a boat manufacturer. There's another boat manufacturer in town we compete with, but we've been ramping up. You do 5 this week, and you train them, and then you do 5, and then you do 5, and we've worked our way up to starting to get the line filled in, and then we're giving everybody an opportunity to be trained on every station of the line. So they're becoming very versed, and group leaders and supervisors and things like that have had the opportunity to go to California and learn what Lance is all about. So they're not Decatur, Decatur campus is there, and we're leveraging some of the fixed overhead persons like HR and accounting and stuff, but there's no identity conflict there. They're 2 different businesses.
Are you making Lance product across the board? I know they don't have 50 products, but they do. They're known for the truck camper. You doing truck camper there?
We are not doing trunk campers
Okay.
there. I don't know if the camper, I'm not knowledgeable enough to know if the camper market in the East is anything close to what it is in the West.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty big in Florida, and with all the rules on the links of what you're pulling behind your unit and stuff, the camper is a natural, I think, for California and out West. But what we're trying to do here is really make this a business that doesn't do everything. We picked some models that we think fit in the East. We're going to become experts at them. We're going to become a low-cost producer, and we're going to supply the market certain models that can come out here. And maybe if we get really good at them and we can actually haul them west, maybe we won't build some of the models out west, and we'll build them from here. But that's kind of the plan. But we'll be experts at a handful or maybe 4 particular links and model names and numbers.
Travel trailer.
Yes, definitely travel trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to interject. I remember when that was somewhat back in the day, a Fleetwood Enterprises facility in Decatur, the grand opening, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
And and here we are in 2022. Okay. And I had a question, Rick. Should I go ahead?
Sure.
The Class B, something that you really speak to, Mike. Class B market, a lot of people are looking at right now. What do you got to say about it? Where is it headed for your company and in general?
I think the Class B market is the most solid of all the alphabets. The B is doing pretty well, and I think that the fact that product is so flexible. I mean, it's something you can drive to work. It's something you can tailgate in. It's something you can snowbird in. There's just a lot of things you can do with it, and I'm very optimistic about it. If there's a worst part about it, it seems like the availability of the Mercedes-Benz chassis is always the problem. And now Ford with their chassis hasn't been an easy find either. And those are the 2 things that I think are actually holding it back a little bit. But we are going full steam with Midwest. I mean, we're looking at ways to increase capacity. I think if you go to the open house or Hershey or open house, you're going to see a lot of innovation. You're going to see new upgraded lithium packages with double the capacity. You're going to see new wood finishes and flooring colors. The interior design's about as good as it gets. So I'd say we're all in would be the understatement when it comes to Midwest. I like what they do there, and we like the product.
Well, let's keep going on this product discussion.
Yeah.
I know Doug Miller's been a little bit busy over there in Decatur. A lot of new products, some new lines, maybe specifically the Frontier GTX, I believe.
Yeah, there's going to be at least 3 new products that we're going to see in the 2 shows coming up. And with regard to the Fleetwood Frontier GTX, it's a diesel model, 37, 39 feet, and they got a great office workstation in them. I think it's, again, appealing maybe to the younger buyer and where people can work from home or work on the road. It has all the features you would want in the chassis. It's a good, solid product. I think you'll also see the Fleetwood Flex and the Holiday Rambler Eclipse, and they fill a gap that we had in our price gap when we took a look at our progression models for Fleetwood, and 3 floor plans, 32, 34, and 35 feet. So we're filling in the gaps, and the product looks real good. We also took the American Coach and took the 3 models, the Eagle, the Dream, and the Tradition, and we now have a kitchen island with a breakfast bar and workstation that's flexible. So Doug does a nice job. Fleetwood's, I think, being very progressive and proactive. We recently hired, it's been maybe 4 or 5 months now, a general manager at our plant in Fleetwood. His name's Alan Farish. He's very, very good at what he does. He's driving the ship hard, and he's a good find for us, and I'm optimistic about where their future is. And they were part of the reason they had a good quarter too, that made our quarter so good for the REV RV group.
Mike, what's your sense of the 2 shows you've mentioned here? What are you looking for at Hershey and the open house?
Yeah, I honestly think Hershey is going to be well attended again. Will there be as many buyers? Will there be more tire kick? Hold on a second. Will there be more tire kickers and more people trying to learn what's out there and understand value and see where pricing might go and things like that? I think that's going to be part of it. But the retail show certainly is. I think our team is going to be all ears, and they want to be listening, and they want to be seeing. And I may be less interested in what our competitors are doing at this show. It's going to be all about the voice of the customer, and we need to understand where their head's at in this whole thing. I mean, are they listening to some fake news? Are they actually believe in what they're doing? I mean, what's the deal here? And I want to understand that, and I think that's what we expect. And I think we're going to be very proud of our product that's out there. And the open house is the opposite. I mean, I think this is a phenomenal opportunity for dealers to come to town and compare and contrast the products just by walking 500 feet or 1,000 yards from one to the other to, what's a Renegade look like? What's a Dynamax look like? What does this look like? What does that look like? That, I think it's important that they do that and draw their own conclusions. And, one of the things that has always made me proud about our industry is there's never any negative selling. I mean, I have yet to be anywhere where they say, don't buy a Renegade because it doesn't have this and that, or don't buy a Dynamax, it doesn't have this or that, or don't buy a Thor. Everybody promotes what they have and encourages buyers to compare and contrast on their own. I think that's a strong suit of the industry itself.
Rick, I've exhausted my questions. How about you?
Well, one final question, if you don't mind there, Mike. One of the news of today, and this happens to be Thursday, September 8th. The news of the day is the July retail sales. And they're down year over year, but that's not unexpected. For open house, I mean, is the sense that dealers are content with inventory? Maybe that's more on the towable side. You're different with motorized. Are you going to see a lot of business taking place at open house?
Yeah, I think there'll be a fair amount of business at open house. I do think they'll be careful and cautious. You're right about the towables, but I mean, for us to think we're not overlapping circles or would be a mistake. And, dealers have a floor plan, and the interest rates in the floor plan have gone up. And if, whether it's towables or somebody else has taken their floor plan, that makes them nervous about buying other things. But if you speak to the dealers one by one, they're going to say, we will continue to buy what's selling on our lot. So if our products are selling on their lot, and they are, I mean, we can't grow the Renegade inventory. I mean, we're, oh my goodness, 20% of what it used to be in the marketplace. Midwest is 20% of what it used to be. Fleetwood is 30% of what it used to be. So we can't grow our inventories. So our backlog seems solid based on the fact we can't even produce we're not getting cancellations because they ain't getting anything. They are getting a product, but we're working hard to get it out there. And so I'm feeling good about it.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Sherman? I've done it. I thank you very much, Mike, for the time you've given us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you around the next couple of weeks, I think.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Take care, guys.
Take care.